I finally broke down and did the thing that I don't like doing on these devices, especially the Samsung devices, especially on AT&T. I was so sick of the battery life on the S22 Ultra. And well, sick in the way that the standby drain, right? We talked about how if you use it straight, if you just go ahead and you're just ripping through video, you're ripping through Twitter, you're ripping through Instagram, you're using it, that the screen on time actually levels off. You can actually get good screen on time if you're just using the whole thing. But when you put it down and you start walking away and doing other work, that's when the battery drain starts to happen. So we've talked about 5G. We're going to talk about a phone tomorrow that darn near doubles when you turn 5G off. So I said, when I realized that, and I saw the success I had with that, I said, I'm going to go ahead and download the Samsung band selector that a bunch of people have talked about. It's on the Play Store. It seems relatively safe. I get nervous with stuff like that because I like to be able to just go into the regular setting and turn it off. And I know AT&T in the United States makes that darn near impossible. They don't want you messing with the bands. They want you on their 5G. They want you on the automatic network. They want you on the ones they select for you. And they don't care what it does to your device. But you do. You paid the $1,100, $1,200. It's in your pocket, and you're the one that's dealing with the battery life. And I get comments every day on those older battery life videos that we did a month or 2 months ago about people saying they're getting 3.5, 4 hours of screen on time by the end of the day, and they're sucking wind, getting to 10% at the end of the day and starting to sweat a little bit because they're not done with their day, or they're going out or something like that, and they just don't have the battery life that they would expect from a device with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery that costs $1,200. And I can't say I blame them for that. You should absolutely be getting better out of this. Now, unlike that device that got the double battery life, or 40% increase in battery life, it's not that drastic with the Samsung S22 Ultra, because there are other things going on here. You do have to be super aggressive with putting apps into deep sleep. You do have to watch to make sure that there aren't other software drains on the system, because that happens a lot more here than it does other devices, and it's inexcusable. We'll see what happens with the June update. Don't have it yet on this device. Maybe the Exynos people have it overseas. They can tell us how it's done so far on their device. But I wanted to go ahead and show you that it's relatively painful to go ahead and select different bands for your device, even if you have a Samsung and you can't select it, even if you have AT&T here in the United States, and the carrier services that get downloaded basically take options off your phone. It's ridiculous what they do. But we'll go ahead and show you here. So you go to the Play Store and you just type in Samsung Band Selector. And I'll go ahead and show you. And this is what it's going to look like. All right, that's the icon. If you see that icon, you know you have the right one. But Samsung Band Selector. And it's pretty simple. You go ahead, you boot it up, and this is the screen that you're going to get. You're going to be on automatic to start, at least, I think, with the 5G and all the rest of it. And the one you want to select, because it's a little scary. There's no options here. There's no descriptions. It's like you're looking at a food menu and they don't tell you what's in the food. So basically, you have all these options. I'll tell you the one that I've been using and I have good success with. It's just LTE All. And that's it. I hit that and I have zero problems whatsoever. I get 4G LTE. I get good speeds. I've had no issue. And I have saved some battery life. You're talking 30 minutes, 45 minutes additional screen on time. Is it drastic? No. Will it help you a little bit to get through your day? I do believe so. And especially if you're in an area like I am, that 4G LTE is perfectly fine. Perfectly fast. No issues. How fast can the browser possibly load up? How fast can that Twitter feed possibly refresh? And you're going to be on Wi-Fi a lot of your day anyway. If you're inside, you're working in an office, you're working from home, you're at home, once you get back, you're going to have Wi-Fi availability there that is going to take some of the load off the speeds for the 4G LTE. So that'll help significantly. But that's been it. It's worked. And I was scared of it because I don't like third-party apps going in and doing that stuff. But the only other option with Samsung devices, when you're on AT&T or when you're on a carrier that restricts you, is you literally have to go into the safe mode, basically the boot mode, and select the bands manually. And then you're really messing with the phone. Then if you get it wrong and you panic, then you could really have some issues if you don't know what you're doing. But this, at least the Samsung band selector, is a way for people who aren't super into tech, don't want to start modding their phones and soft booting their phone and all the rest of it and unlocking bootloaders and all the rest of it on their device to select the bands that they want when the carriers don't want you to do it. And the carriers don't want you to do it. Everybody, because if they were to say, or if they were to come out and give you the option to turn 5G off on these devices, and enough people realize that the speeds weren't that much better and the battery life was that much better, then the whole house of cards would start coming down with 5G. That would be it. You'd have news stories about it. You'd have people talking about it. You have people all over the web saying, hey, listen, it's not worth it just yet. We don't have what would it even be for? We're not in this AR, VR reality where you've got your Apple glasses on, you got your Samsung glasses on, and you need constant over-the-air information updated block by block every time you get to a new location of the data for the restaurant or the menu that you look at on your glasses and all the rest of it. That's going to be important at some point. You're going to need that extra bandwidth at some point. I get it. It's not like it's a useless technology. But just to download your sports scores or to get your weather widget updated, you don't need 5G. And if it gives you 45 minutes, an hour extra screen on time, isn't that worth the trade? I think so. So go ahead and download it. It's safe. I've been using it for about a week. I've had no issues whatsoever. Samsung band selector. I know a bunch of you guys suggested that a while ago. I'm just always hesitant to do that, to mess with the bands on a device, because it brings me back to the times when you're going into the soft loaders and all the rest of it and trying to eliminate antennas or the ones that it talks to. And that makes me nervous, especially if you're telling people who aren't perhaps tech savvy to do that, and they could really mess up their devices and panic and then not get any signal and not know what the heck is going on. That one's safe. If something does go wrong, you go back in there, you hit automatic, you uninstall it, and you're fine. Your phone will go back to normal. So get an extra hour or so out of your S22 Ultra. I know it's a big it's a big swing of people. People are either getting 7 and 8 hours of screen on time and they're perfectly happy. And I personally think those are the people that are using it. Just straight up plowing through. Because that battery, when it's constantly used, will hold up. It's when it's in standby in your pocket, trying to access 5G, among other things, those apps, Facebook, disaster, that you see the battery drain. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I know a simple tip, but it's just one that I finally caved in on and did help. So I want to make sure that you're not afraid of it either. If you were on the fence about it, if you didn't know about it, if it's something that you didn't want to mess with, you see this kind of weird app in the Play Store. I know a lot of times you get apps that do any number of things that sometimes aren't the nicest of apps. But this one is just fine. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.